Guys, welcome back to the channel. Gonna get into this real quick. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. This is the first one I've ever done. What are we seeing? And I'm doing it in forward mode. I think it's very important after I did the post the other day, the video about the crappie setup and seeing crappie in trees. So now let's take a look at what we're seeing. And that way you can learn to discern the crappies and how they hide in the folds of the trees, or the ribs. I call them ribs. Cypress trees have a lot of ribs and roots. You need to learn to know what you're looking for. And the more you learn to know what you're looking for, because these fish are very, very hard to see. That's why those settings are so important. Let's get into it now. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and let's go. All right, guys, here's what we're looking at today. We're going to break down how I discern whether or not it's crappie, whether it's bass, what I'm looking at, and therefore, right here, I'm pointing at a crappie. The return is not a strong return. It's bright, but it's not a strong return. You can make out the body of him. Just right here, you'll see him kind of swim up. And what they're doing is, you see the faintness of something in the background. What that is, that's a cypress tree. And these fish, they'll come in and out of the picture. But the reason they come in and out of the picture is because they go down in the cypress knees. Now here is 4 or 5. I see 3 actually on the picture, but here's 3 or 4 white perch. But notice how if you look straight at the tree, you can't see them. You kind of gotta, they hide in the trees. They hide in the fold or the ribs of the trees. And it's very important to see those little, I call them like nebula stars. They look like they're twinkling stars. Notice the trees don't have a twinkle to them. But when you see a fish, even when he's tucked up against a tree, he has that little sparkle, that twinkle to him. So when you're looking there about the 7 or 8 foot mark, see that crappie that's just sitting there, he's just sitting there hovering. Now here's some, we got about 4 or 5, and I'm gonna stop the video where you can see them. And they're very, like right there, 5 different crappie, even probably more than that. Just a little school of crappie right up by a tree. Now, that is, you don't see them all the time because they go in and out of the trees and they work themselves in and out. They're never being real still, and they're just protecting the beds and nibbling on minnows and you know, shad as they come by, because they're really aggressive this time of year, especially when they get on the bed. But notice this one right here. This is a white perch that's kind of in between the tree. That's kind of cool to see, but notice you don't see him very well. You just kind of see a twinkle. There it is right there, just a twinkle about the 13-foot mark. And notice, look at him swim down, and now he's done disappeared into some cypress knees. And they move around a lot. Now, if you look at about the 10-foot mark, that is a big crappie. You can discern his body. You can even discern his tail, which Lowrance is wonderful at actually seeing the full body of them. And that helps, because when you can discern that's a big crappie, then you can target him as opposed to targeting some of the smaller crappie. And that's good to do. That's good to know, because that's what we're out there trying to do, is catch the bigger fish. And if you can concentrate on bigger fish, you're going to be more successful, and you're going to have a lot better time too. And you'll notice right here, we just got lots of little small crappie and brim swimming along the bottom. I would imagine they're brim. We're all in shallow water right here. But I want you to notice what's coming up. And I'm going to point to it. He just come in the screen right there. That's a big bass. Now watch him, and what he's doing is, you can see his full body. Look at him turning. And what he's doing is he's defending a bed. All these little small brim and everything, you'll see him swim back on the screen here in just a second. He's defending his bed. That you can see him. What he's doing, he's swimming around in a circle. It's like it's got some maybe some sticks and limbs right there. He's probably done cleaned him out of bed, or she. And you'll see her swim in and out of the picture every time. These little minnows and brim are down there trying to eat their eggs, and she's defending the bed. You'll see her come back into the picture right here. But you can tell the size of her by literally looking at the numbers at the top of the screen. There she is again. Look at the size of her. That's a good fish, and what she's doing is she's just defending that bed. And she doesn't be still. She's just like you've ever been fishing for bed and bass. You know they don't be still for long. They're all around that bed. So when they lock on that bed, but if you see that, you'll know there's a fish right there, and you can throw a bait in there and a lot of times catch that fish. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. So guys, what did you think about that? Lowrance is different than Garmin. And Garmin is different than Lowrance. And that is what these 2 pages are going to be highlighting. The difference in both of the products. Garmin has its good points. Lowrance has its good points. Luckily, I've been very blessed that I have both of them on my boat. So having both on the boat, I'm able to see which one has the strengths and which one has its strengths in certain situations, which one has its weaknesses in certain situations. And this right here is a testament to a strength and a weakness of Lowrance. And I'm not afraid to say that. I know that some of the Lowrance people and some of the Garmin people won't like that, but I'm here to tell you the truth. And in a very shallow water situation, Garmin has a little bit better of an edge. Now, that being said, the detail in the active target with the fish swimming and those type of things, that detail kind of goes back to Lowrance. And this may be my inexperience in tuning the active target, but a lot of times I have trouble seeing the bigger separation in fish around, say, trees and stumps and things like that. But guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and ring the bell.